Peace and love, family. Welcome to U.S. Political Prisoners and You, brought to you by Black Power Media. Black Power Media is a very important platform. If you have not subscribed to Black Power Media, please do so. Before we go any further, just want to take a moment of silence to show respect, revolutionary respect to Joanna Fernandez, a staunch advocate for the freedom of Mumia Abu-Jamal, amongst other things. She was also an author, a professor. She was remarkable in what she did. She was the example of what it takes to be credible when you have to take a position on people's right to self-determination, when you have to advocate for our political prisoners. So we want to remember her work. We want to honor her the right way, which is carrying on her ideas. Long live the revolutionary spirit of Joanna Fernandez.
Long live Joanna.
Peace, welcome. Yes, so today is day 5 of Black August. Black August is a very important time. It's a time where we think about our political prisoners, right? And I guess even more than think about them, do what is necessary to bring them home. Black August is a time where we recognize the importance of political maturity through political education, the importance of training and making sure our body is correct as we do demonstrations, as we do marches, as we do any form of resistance against the state. So you go online and you do research on Black August, you will find information about Black August. As I did my research, even though I know what it is, but I'm always working on being better at informing my viewers. So as I did research, I came across this meaning, and this meaning, I thought that it was correct. So I wanted to share with the viewers. Please like, please share, please invite others to this platform so that we can have a time in our week to recognize our political prisoners. So Black August is an annual month-long observance originating in California prisons in 1979 to honor Black political prisoners, freedom fighters, and the continuous global struggle against racial and imperialist oppression. It was established by incarcerated activists to commemorate the lives and deaths of revolutionary brothers Jonathan and George Jackson. And while we talk about political prisoners, it's always correct that we give a definition of a political prisoner and prisoner of war. As I've said before, these are the palm cards that we would give out doing outreach in communities. At one point, we was in South Jamaica for the Curb Fest at the community center in South Jamaica. And we got to talk to people in the community about political prisoners. We gave them this information. So whether they came or not, they still walked away with the idea, the concept of political prisoners, of prisoners of war. Political prisoner, a person who is held in confinement because of their support for people struggling for freedom from an oppressive government or against its oppressive policies, or participating in an organization involved in such a freedom struggle. Prisoner of war, a national combatant of an oppressed nation held in confinement by the oppressor nation because of their participation in an organization fighting for self-determination, independence, or national liberation from the oppressor nation, or for support of or identity with that struggle. So there you have the definition of both. I hope that we're able to reflect on that and make it a part of our conversation, ongoing conversation. You know, our political prisoners make sacrifices for us, and they do it in the interest of movement, the interest of the collective forward. And we as a collective have to recognize that, especially during this time of Black August, because it's preparing us for what's coming. It's preparing us that this has to be ongoing, that it has to be an idea that is presented to our community, wherever we at. We have to take the initiative to bring this idea to the community, to let the community know that nobody gets anywhere without the sacrifices of somebody else. And our political prisoners are those sacrifices. So when we talk about sacrifices and we talk about our political prisoners, let us not forget Kamal Siddiqui out of South Jamaica Plains. Let us not forget Kenny Zulu Whitmore. Let us not forget Mumia Abu-Jamal. These brothers, the last remaining of the Black Panther Party members who are in prison, need not to be forgotten. They need to be recognized wherever you're at. Engage in any program, any discussion. Make sure you make time for them. Make sure you get their address so you can write them and let people know who they are and why we need to do our part with struggling to bring them home, because they can come home, but it has to be organized effort, right? There is the awareness strategy and there's this freedom strategy. We on this platform is involved with both, right? We uh, talk about political prisons on a weekly basis. That's a part of the awareness strategy that is necessary to raise consciousness so that people can tune in and participate with formations if they feel they're up to it, and even make donations so that our political prisoners are able to pay for their lawyer fees, and their lawyers put together the freedom strategy. And that was brought to me by a very dear brother, Lamumba. And I appreciate that educational session because it's necessary to have those sessions so that you can do your work better, more efficiently. So my question to my brother, Tariq,
Yes.
what does Black August mean to you? I guess you could introduce yourself again for those who are hearing about you for the first time, even though you come on bi-weekly.
Okay, so peace and love, family. I am Tyreek. I am a Black Panther. I'm a former member of the Black Liberation Army. I spent 17 years in numerous American death camp prisons as a political prisoner of war. And I'm so glad that you are here during the month of Black August. You have now entered the circle of Black August. And so you are a part of the Black August situation. And that means you are part of the revolutionary family. And it's a good thing. I'm glad to see that you're a part of that. Go ahead, Frank. Your first question was?
Yes, my first question was, what does Black August mean to you?
Okay. Black August is Black August means that ordinary Black people have stepped up to do the very politically mature thing, mature step of erecting a pole. What we're doing with Black August, and we're doing with the other celebrations that we have, we are dissolving the Negro mentality. We're dissolving the colored mentality that was created in the minds of Black people, of African people. We're dissolving the Negro mentality that the slave master has built in the minds of Black people. And what I'm saying is we are dissolving the mentality, the old mentality. We're tearing out the poles, the concepts and the mental poles, as it were. We're tearing them out and we're putting in new poles. We're putting in African poles. And the creation of Black August it means that a colored pole or a Negro pole has been taken out of the mindset of our people. And now we're putting in an African pole, and that African pole is called Black August. And Black August has been established to recognize and to remember our heroes. And as was pointed out, Frank read a card and pointed out that two of the principal heroes that led to the creation of Black August was Jonathan Jackson and George Jackson, and they are brothers. And Jonathan was killed in 1970 when he was trying to free some brothers from the grip of the prison grip that the state had on these brothers. And then the next month, Jonathan, as a result of that, he was killed. A brother named William Nolan, I think, was killed, and Ruchell McGee was wounded. He survived that, and he has since been liberated and has joined the ancestors. But that's what Jonathan Jackson was killed in that action. And then the next year, George Jackson was killed. But they were principal persons in the California prison system. But all of that, Jonathan was trying to free some brothers, and George Jackson was a part of that situation. But they were a part of a situation where the racist guards in California had developed a habit of killing Black prisoners. And so some prisoners have responded by retaliating, visiting on the guards, but the horror that they had visited on us. And so, but Jonathan Jackson and George Jackson, they were principals in that California situation. And so that when they were killed and the other persons were killed that I named, uh, following that in 72 and 73, the people in California, the prisoners in California, were set aside a day or two during the month of August, and they would remember those struggles and those persons was killed. And that is what Black August means to me, and that it means that certain brothers had decided to do the politically mature thing. They had taken it on themselves to begin this memorial service and to begin to erect a holiday that Black people would recognize and recognize and participate in, and they would recognize who the heroes was and recognize the particular qualities that the heroes possess. And one of the principal qualities that the heroes possess, as exemplified by the actions of Jonathan Jackson, was that he loved his people. He loved himself and he loved his people, and he loved them so much that he risked his life to rescue his brothers from the clutches of our enemies. So that's one of the qualities that Black August uh, mean to celebrate. In addition to celebrating particular persons, we also want to celebrate the qualities of love, qualities of courage, and the qualities of thinking of oneself as intelligent and thinking of oneself as a human being, the most valuable entity in the world. So those are that's part of what Black August means to me.
Yes, when I think about August, I think about what you said, political maturity, right? How are we going to get politically mature? Because we have to understand the importance of theory and practice, right? You can read as much as you want, but if you're not putting it into practice, then you don't fully understand it. That's what Black August means to me. Also addressing contradictions, right? You have an objective to me, and unfortunately, contradictions come up, right? And you accept criticism on these contradictions. You accept criticism that's correct. Obviously, if it's not correct, then you dismiss it. And also, it means taking initiative, right? I live in a predominantly Caribbean community, and we're always thinking about why is this community not actively or openly supporting Cuba in terms of this blockade? Why are they not doing anything to fight against this blockade? So I take the initiative to go out into this community and put up a flyer, right? I have the food hub distribution. Me and my wife, I get the food from a donator, and then I'm responsible for shipping, and then it gets to my wife, and then we have contact that we give the food to. That's me taking the initiative to do something based on my observation of a particular situation. You know, there's supposed to be more support around the issue of solidarity with Cuba. So I use that to make the point of that's what Black August means to me. It's political maturity. It's dealing with contradictions. It's accepting accurate criticism and taking initiative to do things. Um, so my next question to you, my brother, is how do you activate Black August?
Well, I activated by, I say to myself, I have entered the month of August, and this is the month that our people have set aside to recognize and to remember our heroes and to remember the qualities of our heroes, to remember persons like Medgar Evers, baking him to death. Like in the oven, they baked him to death. And that's what they are mourning him because in the prison they had baked him to death. And this is not an exceptional thing for the prison guards to do. This is a regular thing. And if you haven't heard about it, it's because they have terrorized our people to such an extent that they told them not to talk about it. I can talk about it because I'm on the list to be killed anyway, so I can talk about anything. And I can talk about them having baked this particular brother to death, and they drugged him and they heated his cell up and baked him to death. And I know about this, and other prisoners know about this in prisons throughout the United States. This is what they do to keep Black prisoners absolutely terrified. And they had baked me a couple of times. They baked the first time they baked me. They drugged me and took me to another cell while I was drugged and chained me to the bed. And while I was chained to the bed, they heated the cell up to 150, 175 degrees. And I wake up in the bed with all this. When I move, I woke up and I moved and I heard this water. And I'm thinking that the police and came in and threw buckets of water on me. And then I realized it's 150 degrees in there. So they didn't throw water on me. This is the result of the water that I had lost from having been baked. Baked. They had baked me a couple of times and they wanted me to submit to them. And they said they offered me an opportunity to make a phone call if I want to call my family or my lawyer to tell them these people are in the process of killing me to save me. I said, no, I don't want a phone call. So if you're going to kill me, go ahead and kill me because I'm not doing anything to hold back the revolution. I'm not doing anything to stop these people from getting y'all. So but this is what they do to Black people. And this is why we have a Black August. And this is why we have persons like Jonathan Jackson, James Carl, William Christmas, and George Jackson, and other brothers whose names are too numerous to mention, but they are the ones who cause persons to create a Black August. And so when the month of August come in, I be thinking about my prison experience. I be thinking about the prison experiences of other brothers and sisters who have been incarcerated and who have been subjected to the cruelties that these people can come up with. So that's what I do to bring in Black August. I think about our heroes and I think about the principal qualities that they possess. And they possess, as I said, they uh, feel themselves to be courageous, they feel themselves to be intelligent, and they figure they make the right decisions, and they feel that they go forward and do what they have to do. And this is especially important at this time because the United States is in a singular position, and that is that they are broke. The people that used to invest in America, China used to invest in America, Japan used to invest in America by buying treasury bonds, and they no longer do that. And many countries in the global South no longer do that, and they have a different financial arrangement. The United States has a different financial arrangement with Saudi Arabia, and Saudi Arabia has agreed to sell their oil to persons who willing to buy the oil but not use the dollar. So that has created a situation where the United States does not have the money that it used to have. It used to have the money. It used to be seen like it was a totally rich country because they had the money that other people was making, other countries was making available to America. But America is in a singular situation now. They do not have money because these other countries, these third world countries, are not investing in America the way they used to. And America does not have the industrial base, the factories that would have led to them coming out of recession or depression before. They don't have those companies no more because the industrialists have moved the factories overseas, and so America's in a singular situation, and they are going to attack Black people and tell white people that Black people are responsible for having done everything wrong, and Black people are responsible for making the country the way it is, and Black people have white people jobs. They're going to tell poor whites all of this so that they can get poor whites on the side of the billionaires to fight for the billionaires against Black people rather than poor whites attack the billionaires for having taken all the job, almost all the job, and moved them overseas. And that is why America is in a singular financial situation and they are not going to recover from that. And so we have a Black August, and we have to know that the past, the torturous past that we were subjected to, the authorities intend to have our future be how our past was. And Black August and knowing who our heroes are, because they showed the way forward. And once we know this and we know that our solution to our situation is a collective solution, and we can go forward and free ourselves and not be living a future of torture and pain.
Yes, yeah. Thank you, brother. You always do a great job of educating me and those who are viewing. And on that note about educating, I think when I talk about activating Black August is to be very serious and more disciplined with my political education, with my studying of books that relate to my political development because I struggle having a cell phone, and I know a number of us can relate. And you get distracted by the algorithm on the cell phone. So Black August is a reminder of to me that I need to work on my discipline regarding how I interact with the cell phone. This is one book that I'm currently reading. It's called People's History of the World, and it helps my political development because it's a history of the working class against the exploiters of the working class and what happened where and who dealt with what and what was the outcome. For those of you who are looking for books to read or thinking about certain books to read, this particular book is very good, very powerful and strong. It's accurate for Black August. And I know on this channel or this platform, there's going to be a series dealing with this book. And I think we all should tune in, including myself. So this page I want to just read real fast. It says, the first time I was put in prison, it was just like dying just to exist at all costs for some very heavy psychic adjustment. Being captured was the first of my fears. It may have been an acquired characteristic built up over centuries of Black bondage. The turning point in his life came when I met Marx, Lenin, Trotsky, Engels, and Mao, and they redeemed me. For the first 4 years, I studied nothing but economics and military ideas. I met the Black guerrillas, George, Big Jake, Lewis, and James Carr, W.C. Nolan, Bill Christmas, Tony Gibson, and many others. We attempted to transform the Black criminal mentality into a Black revolutionary mentality. And I think that piece says everything that you need to know about George Jackson, who he was and who he became. And Black August allows us to do an analysis of ourselves. Where are we and where we're going? And what ideas are we going to stand firm on? That's how I activate Black August. I know I had question 3 was how should our community activate Black August? That question was for you, my brother.
Okay, how should our community activate Black August?
Yes, brother.
Our people should see themselves as belonging to the race and not see themselves as a singular individual. And you see yourself as a singular individual because our educational upbringing has been such that the authorities only taught us to read and write and taught us certain things that we need to know in order to work in the capitalist system. And and once we learn what we need to know to work in a capitalist system, we at the same time we do not learn that we are part of the race, and that's why we see ourselves as singular persons, and we see that we feel that we have to pursue a singular course, but really you are a part of the African race, and you are part of the revolutionary involvement. And so you are not a singular entity, and you want to know that you belong to the race. And as a member of the race, we have to know that we are uh, uh, you are Black people. You're a member of the race. The race is saddled with a very serious situation, and we have to know that the solution to that situation and the situation that Black people are faced with, they require a collective solution, and that we have to know that we are human beings. We have pencil and paper. What I'm saying is, what I'm getting to is that as human beings, we can formulate plans. We can assess the resources that we have and formulate a plan that will include addressing everyone who need some portion of those resources. But we can formulate plans to deal with it. We do not have to take a dog eat dog approach. We do not have to take the capitalist approach to dealing with matters. And the capitalists, one guy's a trillionaire, others are billionaires, and they figure that if you have not developed yourself into being a billionaire, you're just a useful idiot to them. So, but we have to know that that is not the solution to our problem. That each individual should strive to be a basketball star, a football star, and that is a singing star. That is not the solution to our problem. The solution to our problem is we have to get together, form a collective, and then we can assess the resources that are available and formulate a plan so that everyone will get according to their need, uh, and the problem will be solved without us fighting amongst ourselves. And as we know, the authorities know that they have grip on the resources, and they know that only a few resources are available to Black people, and that has caused a number of Black people to form themselves into drug gangs, and that's like having a Black Ku Klux Klan situation, because the drug gangs is killing off more people than the Klans was killing, like 200 people a year, but the drug gangs kill like 2,000 people a year or even more. So that situation is brought about by an outside force, the capitalist fascist forces. And so they do not have our best interests at heart. And we have to know that we are a part of a race, and we can sit down with pen and paper and plan how to deal with the resources that we have available to us. And we can pretty much satisfy the wants of all the members of our collective. And so we don't have to fight amongst ourselves as the capitalists advocate. That is not the way. So uh, that's how the community should activate Black August.
And thank you, bro. And I would add on to that that there's community centers. They have free spaces. You should utilize those free spaces for Black August programs. If you need some advice on what Black August programs that you want to put together, please contact me. I got a DVD on the story of George Jackson. I watched it the other day, and it's incredible. It allows you to understand how serious he was about being a revolutionary. Churches, they have free space. You could do the same thing. You could show a documentary on George Jackson, or you could read some material on George Jackson. You also have businesses, right? Businesses might have some areas like Ujamaa allowing us to have Fest for for political prisoners August 22nd, and that's at 406 Utica, right between Montgomery and Empire Boulevard. And then also, the community can come together and support these programs. If the program costs $1,000, if you divide that amongst 100 people, that's not a lot of money for everybody to contribute collectively. If somebody is having a program and it costs 2,500, if you divide that amongst 100 people, then that's not a lot of money. We all can contribute something. I think that's how we activate Black August. And my final question, my brother, is what books do you recommend for people to read during Black August?
Well, to start out with, I would recommend Mr. Marcus Garvey, The Philosophy and Opinion of Mr. Marcus Garvey, because in that book, he addressed every aspect of what should be addressed. Um, he says that we should form ourselves into like a nation, and we could address our economic situation. And then they have the legionnaires, the military situation, and so that pretty much covers everything we need to know. He talks about us developing our African mindset again, and he addressed that. So that the Philosophy and Opinions is a good book to pretty much touch on all the situations that Black people are dealing with. Also, Blueprint for Black Power is another book. I forget the brother's name. You know his name, Frank? Blueprint for Black Power?
That's not Claude Anderson, right?
No,
Amos Wilson.
yeah, Amos Wilson. That's right. Amos Wilson and his Blueprint for Black Power. It discusses the full range of situations that uh, Black people involved in. I'm saying these books because I'm saying like one book that will cover the different areas that we want to know about. Those books tell our people that we want to examine the totality of our situation. Those books examine the totalities of our situation. I know when I read Philosophy and Opinions of Marcus Garvey, I felt that all the issues that should be discussed were discussed, and he presented solutions to those situations, and that's what we want to do, so that those would be beginning books that we would want to discuss. Of course, if we want to know, we could read Blood in My but I'm saying we could start out with Blueprint for Black Power, the philosophy and opinions of Marcus Garvey, and then of course we would go on to read other particular books that would cover our situation. And I can't overemphasize that we are in a singular moment in the United States. We're entering a recession, depression type situation, which is going to get progressively worse. But unlike the past when America has entered a recession or depression, and capitalist situation is a cyclic situation, and it periodically go through these situations. But as I say, we are in a singular situation, and that is that this is not a situation that America is going to go into and then climb out of. It's not going to climb out of it, and that's why they keep calling us every time Marco Rubio give a speech, he talked about civilization, but in saying civilization, he denoting civilization, but he connoting that there are persons outside of the pale of civilization, and that's us who he's basically saying are barbarians, are inferior persons, and they are of a fascist mentality. As I say, Elon Musk and I think the Vice President Vance went to Germany, and they went to Germany to encourage the people who participating in the elections that's taking place in Germany to vote for the alternate far right party of Deutschland, which is Germany. The alternate far right party of Deutschland is the modern day Nazi party. And the Nazi party, the fascist party, recommend that all inferior people should be killed. And Elon Musk was over there, Vance was over there, encouraging people to vote for these German parties. So they are clear about what to do with inferior person. This is the singular situation that we are facing. These people are being clear. They got the guns, the bombs, and they know we don't have guns and bombs. And so they figure they got the intelligence, they got satellites to watch people, the surveillance situation. So they figure that they have terrorized everybody. So they figure they can come straight out and say, yes, they are pursuing a fascist course. And one of the components of fascism is the elimination of inferior people. So that when they talking civilization, they denoting civilization, but they are connoting. When you say it's cold, you're also saying it's hot. That's what's happening. And when you're saying it's hot, you're also saying it's not cold. You're connoting that it's not cold when you say it's hot. So when they talk civilization, what they are talking about, they are connoting that the other group of persons who are connoted of barbarians are inferior persons. And the fascists are for the elimination of all inferior persons. And they figured non-whites are inferior persons, and revolutionary whites who associate with the inferior person, all of them should be eliminated. They're talking about killing all of us. That's what fascism is about. And and we should know that when you're talking fascism, first of all, they hate women because when they advocated in Germany, they are saying they're going to take the white woman out of the workforce and put her back into the home where she can have children and support her husband and not be an independent thinker or not be an independent worker. And they are clear about that. So I'm saying this, the fascists, first and foremost, they hate women. First and foremost, they hate women and they hate minorities. They hate uh, non-white people because they say that we are inferior person. And one of the components of their whole outlook is the elimination of inferior persons. So when they talk in civilization, they are denoting civilization, but they are connoting barbaric people, and barbaric people are inferior people. They're talking about us. And as we know, when Hitler and them, they had the little Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, at the end of the little kids joined the German Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, they joined it, they would give the little kids a dagger, a knife, and a puppy. And when the little child went through the training process, the puppy would have grown up. And at the ceremony, when they give the little kid a little certificate, they tell the kid to take the dagger and kill the animal. Kill the animal. The animal is a barbarian. And they saying if you can kill an animal that you love, you can kill animals that you don't love. And they're talking about inferior people.